What's up, everyone? Just wanted to give you a quick video, nothing crazy, but as we kind of inch into this week, we go from August to September, and it really starts inching into true hurricane season. September and October are historically the busiest 2 months of hurricane season. So I mean, realistically, the next 60 to 75 days are, if we're going to have storms, that's when it's going to be happening. As we speak, there's a storm that just hit California. There's a storm that's coming through Tampa. I mean, I'm watching videos of St. Pete, downtown Tampa, Bay Drive, and I mean, the waters, unfortunately, I mean, Bay Drive always floods, but the water there is just, it's terrible. And unfortunately, water in general can create some of the most long-term damage for structures and such. So it's just tough. So my big thing is I thought, since we're coming into hurricane season, maybe come on and do a quick top 5 tips for just preparedness. I'll do another video more in depth of probably my top 5 items you should have in your house, this, that, the other. I'll do a more in-depth video, but this is just as we're getting ready and into the season, things that you should be preparing for and kind of to be ready to go. The biggest one, number one, is make a plan. I think we're very lucky in regards to natural disasters, and I know that sounds counterintuitive and weird, but I've always said this: I'd much rather a hurricane that you can prepare for a week or two than an earthquake or a tornado or a tsunami that kind of comes up out of nowhere and there's very little time to prepare. I mean, the fires in Hawaii, everything else, it's so sad and scary, but with a blink of an eye, it's like boom, and all of a sudden it's moving and you get trapped. Here you can be very prepared, and then you can either hunker down and hold out and make it work, or you can get in a car or fly away or get away. But you have the time with hurricanes. It's a little bit different, but you still need a plan. Assess your house. Are you going to stay? If you're not going to stay, where are you going to go? If you have pets, consider that. That's a big one for people. If you're going somewhere, make sure you have hotels or family or friends that will take your pets. Don't just leave your pets at home. That's the big one. I think so many people don't think about it, and then like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And they're in their car with their dog and they have nowhere to go. Make those plans. I mean, there's only so much you can do to prepare, but make those plans. And sometimes driving to a little bit of a unique place, if the storm's coming from the Atlantic side, driving a little bit up into the Gulf side, maybe you'll still get some storm, but get out of the way. Go to a smaller town. Maybe they're not going to be as booked. It'll make it a little easier for you. But having a plan is really big. Next, we'll get back to the preparing of the house. Number 2 is big, is trim the trees before season. Big trees, oak trees, anything else, and palm trees, palm fronds, coconuts, whatever they may be. When those come down, they become projectiles. Make your life easy, make your neighbor's life easy. Trim all that now. It looks beautiful, it looks great. Do it once. You can do it once a year right at the start of hurricane season, and it's perfect. But get all that loose stuff out, clear out the middle of the big trees. It'll just make it easier. A big limb on your roof, even if the insurance covers it, it's not ideal. I've had clients send me pictures and they have a hole in their ceiling from a tree limb that's come in. Normally it happens halfway through the storm, and then you end up getting, unfortunately, the water and all the other damage that just, it goes and goes and goes, and it makes it very difficult to rectify. It's tough. So do what you can. You can never always prepare for this, but trimming those trees will at least cut down the chances of something like that happening. Another thing is, and I know it sounds silly, but if you have neighbors on either side of you and their trees bother you, when you have somebody come out, let your neighbors know, hey, I have a tree trimmer come out. It'll probably be cheaper. Maybe you can get them to get theirs trimmed as well, and that'll help projectiles coming right onto your house. All work together, everyone saves a little bit of money, and then the local vendor will make a little bit more money and make the job easier. It's kind of a win-win. Number 3, shop and prepare for food, water, gas. Get everything early. If you have a generator, make sure that it works. Make sure that you have a plug. If it's a full house generator, test it. Don't wait till a storm and then realize, oh my God, it needs to be serviced, it needs to be this or that. Make sure it's working. And then know what kind of gas you're going to go through. I mean, if it's going to need 5 gallons, 10 gallons for the day, make sure you have 20 or 30 gallons of gas. Even if you have neighbors, and I know it sounds funny, but a lot of people don't have generators, you end up having hurricane parties. Have 2 or 3 neighbors come over, have them each bring 10 gallons of gas, and then they can hang out, throw their food in the fridge, cook, have light. That's what happens. Unfortunately, you got to kind of pool your resources with a hurricane. Whether it's food, water, gas, whatever it may be. If you have filtration at your house, speaking of water, fill your tubs. I know it sounds funny, but fill your tubs, whether it's for cleaning things, washing dishes, drinking. You still want to boil, clean, whatever, for your pets. It's not a bad thing. It's just one more thing. It's free. God forbid nothing happens, pull the drain, you're done. But at least you have that extra water. Most people have a tub in their house, so it's worth filling just to do. Securing your home for number 4. So this comes very much back to the tree issue. The second part of that is securing your home. If you have impact shutters, great. You can skip this next little portion. If you don't have impact shutters, make sure you have impact windows. Make sure you have shutters that actually cover all of your openings. If you don't, find plywood, find shutters, get something now and prep it and be ready. Don't be trying to pay $100 a sheet for plywood or driving to 7 Home Depots to find plywood like I've done before in the past for Hurricane Matthew. It's a disaster. I got lucky. I had a buddy help me out, but it was $200 for like 4 sheets of plywood, and I was putting them up in the rain. It worked, but wouldn't do it again. So it's just something to prepare yourself for. And that's funny. I mean, I'm born and raised here, and I still sucker myself in. But back to the task at hand. Just make sure your house is secure. Be ahead of time. Also, all the loose items, if you have furniture, you can throw it in the pool sometimes if it's lighter. Anything else, tables, grills, all that, make sure you have somewhere to put it, whether it's a garage, whether it's your living room, doesn't really matter, but make sure you have somewhere you can bring it inside, because all of that will get broken and become projectiles. You always see the memes of like the one random beach chair that just sits out there and never gets hit, but if you have a 100-pound grill, it's going to get picked up and thrown through a window, so it is what it is, but don't take those chances. You're better safe than sorry. It might take you a day or two, and it's a little bit of a hassle, but what's more of a hassle is having your grill in your windshield of your car or something. Number 5, and this is kind of a big one, especially for people not from down here. Talk to people from down here. I think the news sometimes makes it very scary, and don't get me wrong, I was here for Wilma, I was here for Andrew. It's very scary. But at the same point in time, if you prepare correctly, you can be safe. I mean, God forbid you have insurance. If something happens to your stuff, you're okay. But preparing, if you're in a good structure and you have a plan, everything should be as well planned out and as safe as possible. It should not be as scary as I think some people in some places make it. Ask people questions. Ask people who have been here. Send me a message. Ask me a question if you don't know something. There's always things that change, but prepare for the worst. Make sure, like we said, you have towels, generator, chainsaw, water jugs. You might be without power. I mean, I've been without power for 2-3 weeks before. It sucks, but that's what happens. You get through it. Like I said, you find somebody with a generator, you find somebody with a chainsaw, everyone pulls together. It's interesting how the community comes together when things like that happen. But definitely prepare for the worst, and if the best happens and we get lucky and nothing happens, great. I would say, just because of timing, pray for all the people in Jacksonville. I hope everyone in Jacksonville, I hope everyone in Tampa, everyone where that storm's coming through is okay. Especially the places where they're not. Tampa just keeps getting hit. St. Pete is very low. Their drainage is terrible. So their flooding is more the worry. And then if the storm's big enough, the rain, once it gets to Orlando, I mean, you guys have seen how the parks and everything just flood in Orlando. They're not used to that. So I think that's the big problem with these storms coming across the state, is it could actually pick up again, end up on the Atlantic and loop back up, and it could hit the Carolinas for all we know. But it's just preparing down the road and kind of hoping for the best for everyone, but you want to be prepared so if it does hit us, you're ready for it. One of the last kind of things I'll say, and I'll end this thing real quick, don't go outside in the eye of the storm. You might think it's over, it's halfway over. The biggest thing, and I've unfortunately heard horror stories of this, is tree limbs are almost down. People go out to assess damage and a tree limb comes down and hits you, or power lines are down and you don't know, and you end up walking through and you get electrocuted and die from a down power line because you're standing in puddles. Wait till the storm's down. Be safe. It's not worth going out and assessing a little damage. Damage is going to be the same or worse when you come out later. You're not going to get out there and fix it. So be safe. Stay with your family. Look out the windows if you want to, see what's going on. Wait till the storm's over, check the news, and then go out and assess your damage at that point. Don't worry, you'll see all your neighbors out at that point doing the same thing. So just be safe and sorry. Better safe than sorry out there, guys. And please, if you're not from here and you do have any questions, please send me a message, shoot me a text, give me a call, leave a comment down here. I'm happy to really help out. I know can be tough, but don't be scared. Don't be worried about it. We'll all get through this. Just be prepared. Thanks, guys. I hope this helped, and I will do another video in the future on more what food, what items you should really have, when you should be getting it, batteries, this, that, the other, just to be prepared. But for right now, I just wanted more of a prep of what you need to be doing to kind of get your house in order. Thanks, guys, and have a great day.